Okay, welcome, Cornelia. Welcome, Ify. Waiting for more people to join us. It's 11:59 my time, 11:59 Central Time, and we are here again. This is a follow-up for the Career Restrategizing Conference 2023. Let me see if our chat bar is working this time around. Let me see. If you can type in something, type in on the chat box where you're joining us from. Oh, there's a chat bar working. Okay. Let's see. Let's try to introduce ourselves in the chat. Let me know if the chat bar is working, if the chat is working. Let's introduce ourselves. We have more people in the waiting room. I do not want to use waiting room this time. Okay. So welcome for joining. Thank you for joining us today, Kanina, Stephanie. I can see Yemi, I can see Ithi, I can see Toso coming in. Thank you for joining. Let's see if the chat bar is working. Is the chat bar working? As you're coming in, let's introduce ourselves. Tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us where you are. Tell us what your expectations are. Let's see if the chat is working. Thank you for joining. I can see Andrew is, yeah. I wish I have a drum roll. I was like, thank you for joining us, Andrew. I can see Ola is, yeah. Thank you for joining us, Andrew. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm so excited about today. I'm so excited. I'm waiting. I can see that our LinkedIn is working. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, you can tell us where you're joining us. Introduce yourself in the chat bar. Let's know where you're joining us from. If you're here on Zoom, let's know where you're joining us from. I'm using two systems. I'm trying to catch you. But I can see some people telling us they're joining us from. I can see Lakendra from. Memphis. Okay, I can see Lakendra, I can see Bayami, I can see Terry, I can see some people are joining us. Yeah, oh yeah, the chat bar is working. I'm excited.
I
Now
see.
it's working. Chat is working, the LinkedIn is working. I'm so excited. Andrea is here, Ola is here. Those are my two facilitators for today. And I'm excited. My name is Florence, and I'm from the Chief Talent Strategist of VAD Consulting and Management. And this is a follow-up conversation, workshop. We can call it a number of things. Webinar. Career Restrategizing Conference 2023. I can see Kanina from Austin. I can see Ita joining us from Texas. A lot of Texas baby here today. I can see Batteries also. She's joining from Texas. Oh, I can see Delaware. I can see Yemi from Delaware. Thank you for joining us. I see some people also responding on LinkedIn from Nigeria. I said thank you for joining us. So we're going global. We're going from Africa down to United States. So I want to know where you all are joining us from. Also trying to admit everyone. I don't know why the room is on today, but that's fine. I'll make sure I keep my eye on that. Yeah, we have. I was introducing myself, and I say again that my name is Florence Idowu, and I am the Chief Talent Strategist of Bavad Consulting and Management. I know some of you may be wondering, what is Bavad Consulting and Management? Well, first of all, it's a human resources strategic consultant firm. And apart from that, we do a lot of other things. Yemi, why did you run away? I saw you turn on your camera. I could see your beautiful face. Why you scared of camera? You guys should come on camera. If you want to come on camera, you can come on Zoom. We share that with you all. And What we'll do is the human resources, but not just human resources in terms of working with organization, of course, which we do. We also work with individuals. We work with individuals. We connect with individuals with self-alignment. Oh, you're testing your Yeah, he said it's testing his camera. Anyway, your camera worked. That's great. So we work with individuals and organizations and help with alignment to your strategic goals. So as an individual, your strategic goals could be accelerate your career path, it could be transition your career path, it could be to advance in promotions and other things, it could be to win a contract. And we do a very one-on-one approach, very personalized approach while working with the VAD. We have a number of coaches and partners and a very good relationship. Like you can see, we have Andrew, yeah, again, on the very good relationship with some of our speakers. We have speakers that would use on a day-to-day or event-to-event basis that are tested and trusted because we know their expertise, which is why you see Andre here today. And I have with me two amazing guests. I would be spotlighting them soon. But before I spotlight them, if you're new, wondering what is Career Restrategizing? It's a conference we had in March 31st. I have a banner that we had in March 31st, and it was massive. It was massive. Andrew was here with a lot of many other speakers. Ola was here. We went through various resumes, but not just resumes. We have some value nuggets to share, ranging from how to apply the right way to how to negotiate your salary and offer. So today we're bringing something similar, but now in a more exclusive and more intimate. So now we may not see up to 1,900 plus like we saw during the conference, but this is for those who are ready to take the next step to advancing their career. And we have two major sessions, which is the one is going to be handled by Ibrahim Ola, who is one of Bavad coaches, but also worked with more than thousands of clients, individuals, and organizations in the past to help streamline, work on optimize their profile, work on the resumes and cover letters and everything, career branding. And we also have with me Andre, which that's going to be like a special introduction right now, which is one of a high class now coach that I've been connected with recently, and I love her work. I've been following her for some times, and she's been doing a great thing. If you are here for Andrew, if you know Andrew, I know most of us like, oh, I know Andrew. I see her on TikTok. Yeah, she's that superstar. So, and we have Andre. She's also the school and um career coach. She likes to go by career coach and professional resume writer, even though she's the CEO of the Career Island. And she will also be here again to give that same value nugget on the interviews. She will work with your interviews. So which she will work with your resume and mean for interviews. So if you have interviews coming on, you want to apply, you want to change a job, or you are in that same position where Mr. Voss are those days been laid off. You've been trying to get interviews. You've been eating a hard rock, cannot advance your career. You want to know how you can get promoted. You've been in the same sport for years. So I know I'm currently working with a client that's been in the same sport for more than 10 years, and we're working to advance a career. So if you're in that sport, if you are in that sport, that is one of the things that Andrew will look into today. She'll look at what is stopping you from advance from your resume. We'll have what we call the live resume check. But I'm going to go over just a few house rules, before we continue. But before we continue, if you were in career strategizing last year, I want you to send me an emoji. Let's get connected. Let's see. Send us an emoji if you were here in the last event that we had. Send us an emoji. I can see some on LinkedIn already. I can see some on Twitter. I can see some on Facebook. Okay, now it's going. I'm waiting for some. Yeah, let me remove the spotlight so that I can see what's going on here. Okay, remove theme. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think if you were here, I think there's a lot of new persons there. That's fine, that's fine. That's okay. At least that means that the nuggets we shared during the conference has helped a lot of people and probably they got a job because we received some amazing report, we received some amazing responses, and it was overwhelming. So now I would just go over the house rules so that we can know how we want to go about it. And before I do, I have some polls to launch. So I just launched a poll. While I'm going over the house rule, let's look into the poll. Please answer the poll. It will really help us in planning for our next event. So a few house rules. So this is going to be a 2-hour event of which we spent more than 10 minutes or 10 minutes exactly, going over the welcome speech and introduction. And over that, we'll go to the next session, which will be facilitated by Ibrahim Ola, a Bavad coach, and another superstar coach. I can't just talk much about the people's biography. You gotta read it on the website. And it will take over what we call the re-strategizing, how to articulate your value, re-strategizing nuggets, how to articulate your value and your personal branding. It will take us over that. And we will go to the next stage, which is the resume live check, and that will be a session with Andrew. So there will not be a breakout room this time around because we are streaming live on LinkedIn, and we want those who are on LinkedIn to participate in this event. So Andrew, I'll be working with you to check for LinkedIn in case there's anyone sending messages or questions that you need to catch. And it's not going to transfer to Zoom, but for those who are on Zoom, we are glad that the chat box is working. So if you have a question, please use the chat box. Do not interrupt until the session ends, but please use the chat box. And you can also, you told us where you're joining us from. We would have a session where you can connect with others. You can drop your LinkedIn, for instance, and follow each other. But for now, I will be handing over to Ibrahim Ola, who will take us through the first session, and that is how you can articulate your value and how you can improve your personal branding. And on this stage, I want to welcome Ibrahim Ola to the stage.
Yeah, I'm alive. Hello, people. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. So if you can hear, you can show him some emojis, but we can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, that's good. I'm super excited to be here and to share my thoughts. Firstly, I want to thank you, Florence, for the opportunity to come here and share my thoughts on the current job market and how career professionals can navigate this and get the right results while they go up the ladder in their career journey. So yeah, so if you can hear me, please. I just want to be sure because I can't see the emojis and I know Florence could see them. Yep. So I'm going to be sharing my screen right now and just to go over a few slides. So share some thoughts with you. Sorry, I think. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
yes, we can.
Just a moment. I have to move this out. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just a moment, please. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be speaking on articulating your value in today's market, strategies for finding success in today's job market. So you've been watching news lately, and based on the posts you've been seeing on LinkedIn, there's been so many layoffs. People are being laid off in masses, and the job market is getting more fierce by the day. Um, you know, People are being laid off, people are struggling to get jobs. But at the same time, we have people that they're posting like, man, I just got a job, I just had this, I just had that, I just got promoted. So you could actually be that person. And that's the reason for, and that's the purpose for this webinar. So I'm going to be sharing some thoughts with you. But first, I want to be sure if you know that you are a person of value. Can I have an emoji, like give me a thumbs up? If you know you're a person of value, can you drop a thumbs up in the comments? Can I have some thumbs up? Florence, are they coming in?
Yeah, there's some thumbs up coming in. Yes.
Yes. So the reason I asked this question is for you to know that to be sure to be sure that you're a person of value, you are more than just a career professional. You are more than a job seeker. You are someone who provides solution. You are someone who brings something to the table. So you are beyond that person that just go to the office, or maybe you work from home and hoping to get a pay at the end of the month. So you're a person of value. You add value to the world. You add value through your profession. If you're a customer service agent, you are a customer service professional. You are a program manager. So you are a person of value, irrespective of what you do. So have this consciousness. I'm trying to build this consciousness within you that you have value. So it's a mindset you need to have for yourself beyond you being a career professional. So I'm going to be going over some strategies because I think I have 20 minutes. Florence, what's my time?
Yes, 20 minutes.
Yep. So I'm just going to be going through some strategies with you on how to find success in today's tight job market. Okay. So you have to identify, number one, you have to identify your unique skills and strengths. So what are those stuff that makes you exceptional? What are those stuff that make you different from the same people within your industry? So you have to identify your strength, you have to identify your skills. So I want us to do an exercise. If you have a pen or your notepad with you, you're just going to be writing down what do you think makes you unique? What are those strengths? What are those experiences you've had in the past that makes you different from the average person within your industry? Because this is your value proposition. This is your core value that you can sell that makes you different. When someone meets you and man, you know that this is what you have as a career professional that makes you stand out in the pool of other professionals within your industry. So you're going to be making a list of your accomplishments. So you get a pen and a notepad, you're going to make a list of your accomplishments, your experience, what have you done in the past, and skills that you bring to the table. So write them down. I know this is going to be taking, this is going to take a little while to do, but it's an exercise that is going to help you a lot. And the purpose for writing this, I'm going to be sharing it with you later in the next slide. So do we have, sorry, Florence, do we have people responding? So I need to be sure that they are hearing me.
I can hear you, and I know that people can hear you because I saw some thumbs coming in, some responses. So I will just
perfect.
check. The only thing I'm trying to fix is there's someone that complained that they could not see their screen. So I want to know if they're using their phone or they're using their computer. If you're using your phone, you have to switch over to the previous, like a slide behind, so you can see the screen.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm moving over to the next slide. So you're going to be developing an elevator pitch for yourself. So this is very vital because you are going to be needing it during an interview. You're going to be needing it on your resume as well. So you create a short and concise elevator pitch that summarizes your value proposition. So you're going to be using details from, from this, like your unique skills and your strength, your career accomplishment, your experience. So you're going to be using details from that to build your elevator pitch. So let me give you an instance. If you've been okay, let me say if you've been a business development manager for maybe 10 years and you've successfully helped a company generate revenue, and through the years you've helped them generate revenue, like 50% revenue increase, you are to this is what you need to articulate your value proposition. Like you've been able to constantly generate revenue for companies you've worked for, and without spending more budget. Do you get? So you have to make this concise, you have to make this relevant to your job target or your career goal. So make a short elevator pitch, because this is going to be relevant. You're going to be having it at the top of your resume, like you are able to adopt best practices that enables you to accomplish this within this time frame. So is your trademark, your elevator pitch. So it's going to be your trademark you're going to be using to, sell yourself to prospective employer. Then we'll move over to the next slide. Now, I know you've been hearing build a strong online presence. And most times you guys think, most job seekers think this is not something they need, or they could put in energy and time and resources to do. But this is actually what moves the needle into this job market. If you are going to thrive, if you're going to, become someone who has so many job offers to choose from, you need to build a strong online presence. Don't leave it to entrepreneurs, don't leave it to content creators. You need to showcase your expertise as a career professional online. Why? Because most companies go online to check your portfolio, they check your profile to see, especially your LinkedIn profile, to see if you are, someone who posts. They just want to check what you do online. They just want to check what are the stuff you share, because whatever you post online are things that means a lot to you, especially on LinkedIn. So you need to be visible online, build your professional presence online. So I'm gonna be focusing more on LinkedIn right now. We have thousands of recruiters, hundreds of thousands of recruiters on LinkedIn. So you have to focus your time to build content. You have to share valuable tips. You have to share strategies. What have you done in the past that you want to shout about? Post them online, because you don't know who looks at your profile most times, you can't tell who visits your profile. So you need to be able to articulate yourself online such that you are being seen as a thought leader in your industry. So, and I wrote this here, I said, being an expert is not what you know, but what you share. So it's beyond, I can't just come to your profile and assume, man, this guy is someone who is very good at, let's say, using Excel, or let's say is very good at customer acquisition or customer retention. So it is what I see that I know of you. Until you say it, no one knows. Do you get? So you need to keep sharing value. You need to keep sharing content. You need to keep building your network online. So you don't have to wait till when you want to start applying for jobs before you trying to connect with recruiters or hiring managers of companies. No, don't do that. That's going to be a fire brigade, strategy. So start building your presence online now, because it's very relevant. And the whole world, we're even online now. So it's very relevant for you to do this. And yeah, So build your presence online. And I think because of time, I'm to share some strategies with you that you are going to be using. So make it a routine for you to connect with at least 5 to 10 hiring managers within your industry, irrespective of their location. Why? Because you're going to be needing them for recommendations. If there's a job opening, the hidden job market, this is where to get it. Jobs that are not being posted online officially on company's website or on LinkedIn. So this is where you get them from your connections, from the network you have built over time. So start connecting with hiring managers, start connecting with people in that work at your dream company. Like, maybe you want to work with Google, you want to work with, Apple. Start building the network now. It might be a 5-year goal, but start it now. It gives you leverage. Then engage on people's posts. I don't know, this is something that works well. Engage so that they know you. Your name don't just you don't just look strange when you need something. Like, we've connected for over a year and maybe you need a job and you just want to message the hiring manager after a year of connecting without having you've not built rapport over time. So ensure you engage, you celebrate them when they have something doing, maybe it's their birthday, you get the LinkedIn notification, you wish them, you celebrate their promotion. Stuff like this, gives you leverage ahead of millions of job seekers out there. So you need this. If you can put in your efforts to building your online presence, it's going to, put you 1,000 times ahead of most job seekers. So over to the next slide. So you have to continuously learn and improve. So stay up to date with the latest trend and best practices within your industry. Now, it's not news that AI is taking over. Like, most people are leveraging AI to increase their productivity, to make their jobs easier. So you need this. You don't have to be someone that you are static, like just being in one place. You need to continuously learn, because the more you learn, the more you grow. So continuously learn. Learning is an essential part to your career success. So you attend conferences, you take online courses, participate in relevant professional organizations. So it's very relevant that you learn, you build your skills, so the more you build your skills, you build your value as well. So the more you have knowledge about what is trending in your industry, you are able to, gain more insight into what's happening. And when you have a job interview, you could leverage this to say, man, based on what's happening in the industry now, I feel this is what I could bring to the table. So the hiring manager knows that, man, you're on top of your game. You're not just the average job seeker that comes seeking a position. You are coming to add value to the company. So take online courses, participate in relevant professional organizations, and attend industry conferences. And I'm glad that you're here as well. This is a valuable channel to also learn. So, so finally, I think this is where I'm going to, speak more on, because we're going to be having the next session, which is on resume review. So most job seekers are using generic resume. Over the years, I've spent time to look at resumes, and I found that, yeah, generic, like, you're just wondering, what does this person actually want? Like, what job role is this person going for? So you have to customize your resume based on the job you want to apply for. So I know, because of most people, they have quite a number of experience. You might have worked, must have had multiple roles at the past, but you need to customize your resume to get results. If you don't customize your resume, you're not going to get interviews practically, because the hiring manager, you are keeping them at bay, like, man, what is this person actually going for? what position is person going for. So you need to customize your resume. This cannot be overemphasized to the job role you're applying for. And one strategy to do that is to read the job requirements. You can go online and read like 5 to 10 job openings that you might want to apply for. And you will find a lot of similarities in the job descriptions, a lot of similarities. So you could incorporate those things and build, a customized resume you can use to apply for, you can use to apply to jobs that you're interested in. So I think I'm trying to keep my time. Florence, am I still in time? Florence, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you are just like 1 minute left. So for ask you anything, we have to ask you 1 minute left. So for ask you anything, we have to ask you 1 minute left. So for ask you anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, there was an echo. I noticed that I had something on in the background. So thank you very much, Ola. You can stop sharing your screen at this time. We have a session that allows you to ask questions from the previous question. So now if you can see the screen, I can see that people can see the screen on LinkedIn Live. So I want to say thank you very much. So please, yeah, thank you. And now we'll go to the second stage, which is the one of the main reasons we had to first of all lay the background. And before I introduce Andre, I want you to know that articulating your value is very, very important. And you cannot do that without you, first of all, knowing and understanding your value. If you're still finding, or if you're still having difficulty in knowing what value you bring to the table, you need to talk to a coach, because there's some people that are very much strategic, that when you talk to them, you're able to, I think we can stop sharing the screen for now. Thank you very much. So when you understand your value, that way you're able to know what you sell to the table. Just take, for instance, now you're in interview, introduce yourself. That is not for you to tell people. I know Andrea's going to talk about some each, maybe every section of the resume. I'm not sure how she wants the dynamics she want to go through, but I want you to know that for every single conversation you have with hiring managers, non-hiring managers, recruiters, anybody, you don't know who has influence. You don't know who has the influence over hiring decisions. You don't know who has influence over budgets. You don't know who has influence over certain decisions. So you have to be very intentional. In your networking skills, you have to be intentional. In your posts, what you like. I don't like to be too restricted. I like to do a lot of things. I'm involved in so many things, but you have to be strategic in, I want to respond to this post. I want to engage with this post. How do I engage with this post? For now, I see some people are on LinkedIn, you're just joining us. I want to say thank you. This is the Career Restrategizing Conference follow-up of 2023 we had in March. And this is a webinar titled Mastering Your Career. We're talking about essential skills and strategies that you need to further advance your career or further advance your growth, professional, personal development. And on this note, before I go further, because it seems I'm getting into the spirit, but before I go further, I want to introduce us to Andre, and she will take us through the second session, which is the resume live check. So I have some resumes that have been sent over so that those who are on Zoom can also see the screen. So in case you want us to, you want me to start sharing screens for resume, just let me know and I will do that. And thank you very much for you being here. Over to you.
ready. About to look at resumes. My name is Andrea. I am a professional resume writer and a career coach and HR manager, and I've been a recruiter, and I've literally done every little facet inside of HR, and I am a hiring expert now because I get people hired all over the world with these free tips that we're about to give. But I give free tips everywhere. Follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you see at Andrea's a Writer, you can get a job. So I guess we could jump straight into resumes. I feel like that's probably the best thing to give you some visual to see exactly how a hiring professional views you based on the work sample that you give them, because that's what your resume is. It's a work sample. Nobody is looking at your resume wanting to know about your grandma or your cat or your interests or the thing you did yesterday. That's not what it's for. A lot of people think it is, and they spend hours and hours and days. Like, I have people tell me on TikTok all the time, I've been working on my resume for weeks. Why are you taking weeks to work on your resume? You need a job now. Like, hurry up. And you can take these tips to streamline your process into attracting the right amount of attention from the right people. Your resume is not supposed to be for you. It's for the hiring manager. You write your resume in the eyes of the beholder. You are not the beholder of your resume. That's not a thing. You're not hiring yourself. There's no way in the world that would be feasible at all. So you take your ego out of your resume, because it's not about that. It's about, how can I get this person to want to give me money? That's it. I have to showcase how I do these 3 things. And if you can do this well, you will get a job anywhere. Make money, and save time. That's it. Make money, save time. If you can't articulate that in a myriad of different ways that are really aligned to the specific company, the role, the industry, you're not being efficient as a value provider. I learned that in the Restrategizing event we did. You're not a job seeker. You're a value provider. You're providing value, and you have to articulate that through the written word first. Get your foot in the door there, or through the written word on your LinkedIn profile to attract recruiters or decision makers or hiring managers or whomever. But you have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, you might struggle getting callbacks. And then you'll get to the interview, and then you have to articulate it through words. So let's look at a resume. All right. Everybody can see the screen, hopefully. I'm about to get on the LinkedIn. I have both open up at the same time so we can kind of see this resume. I wonder, can I zoom? I can zoom. Look at technology. All right. So look at this. We see Beatrice. I actually like this format a little. I kind of like the style because the name is big and bold right at the top. That's great. There is no title though. Let me do this. Try not to be so rude. Strike 1. No title. You should always have a title of the position that you are seeking on your resume. And it doesn't matter if you've done the title before or not. It just kind of helps you in an organization way, because you're going to be applying to all these positions, right? So let's say you're trying to be, let's see, now I have to read and kind of see what she's looking at. See, I have no clue what she was like. Okay, risk manager. If you're trying to go after a risk management position as a risk manager, you should have the title risk manager at the top of your resume under your name. So I like the B and the G. I think that's kind of cool to have the initials in the upper left-hand corner. That's nice. There's like a style that I kind of dig with the square. How I'm very picky. So you see how the G, this is not even a big deal. This is just me. You see how the G is way closer to the edge than the B is, and the B and the G, I would center that and make sure everything is aligned. That's just me, but I build resumes for a living. So like, I would just make sure that I'm like exact and solid in everything. And then I would put risk manager under the name Beatrice in that same big and bold, so that you're kind of creating this brand of yourself. Hi, I'm Beatrice. I'm a risk manager. It doesn't matter if she's ever had that title before. She's now going after it. So that is who she is now. She is aligning herself to that title. You're calling that in, and it helps the reader. So like, let's say I was the hiring manager. I would see that and be like, oh, great. This is who we're looking for. We're looking for someone who's the risk manager. Let's say you have only had project specialist positions. Well, as a project specialist, you've handled risk and you've probably managed some type of protocol, some plan, some operation that dealt with conflict, that dealt with internal issues. Those are risks. Just coming to work on time, you're decreasing risk, because if nobody was working, we weren't making any money. And that's a risk to the business. So you're constantly doing things that are alleviating risk, doing risk mitigation, no matter what your job is. I don't care if you worked at an ice cream shop, you are mitigating risk every day by just showing up. You could show up late and you're still mitigating risk. So don't ever cut yourself out of the job and the job title just because maybe your title is something different. Everybody's calling things different all the time. So title. Yes, contact information, great. Okay, so in the summary, it says detail-oriented. I'm not sure why the O is capitalized, but it says detail-oriented risk manager promoting strategic planning to deliver best performance in risk management. I would say something different because we're repeating risk twice. We know you do risk management. You're trying to be a risk manager. You could say maybe like detail-oriented and proactive risk manager with 5+ years of experience in strategic planning, operational development, and employee regulation that improves productivity levels and decreases inefficiencies by over 15% each quarter. Then you're having a very solid summary that showcases, oh, this is someone who's proactive, detail-oriented. This is the risk manager we're looking for. They have the years of experience that are listed on the job vacancy announcement, like I was talking about. You want to get it to be very, very aligned to what they're asking for. They're describing their ideal candidate. So you now have to create your resume to mirror that description, because you're going to show up as that ideal candidate in the interview. But this is kind of like your little golden ticket. You're trying to get in the door. So that has to match. It's like a key, you have to open the door. So this key, you have to make your key fit. There is no such thing as a perfect candidate. It doesn't exist. The job description is just a piece of marketing. It's just trying to attract you to apply because it's a business. This is the business of getting hired. So you can have a very solid summary by taking little nuggets. You can take little skills from the job vacancy announcement and you put it directly into the beginning of your resume, because they're not actually reading it, they're scanning it. So instead of like, promoting strategic planning to deliver best performance risk management. Yeah, we get that you do risk management. You're the risk manager. You can do that all day long. Give us something else. And you can pull different things and, broaden your reach and broaden the mind of the reader by telling them, oh, not only am I this risk manager with the 5+ years of experience, always put the years directly at the top in that. So you don't look so vague. Because if you're just like, hey, I'm a risk manager, it's just like, are you the one we need though? Like, we might be asking somebody to have 2 years because we want someone kind of entry. And you say like, oh, I'm a risk manager with 10 years. Okay, we're not looking for 10 years. We're looking for 2. So you can do something like that. And it's extremely just to the point, and it's just right on the nose of what they asked for, directly at the top. Can you back up a little bit, Florence? A teeny. Sometimes when you say things in the top, if you're doing a little too much, like there's like, she kind of lists more technical experience. You can put a technical skills section right under that before you start the areas of expertise, and then you'll be good. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like you could pull that down a little and get it out of the summary, and then you'll broaden the ability to kind of create some depth. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I like to look at a resume and it look really clean so that there's depth for the eye. Because a lot of the times you're trying to make the eye very pleased with what it's seeing. Because sometimes these people are looking at thousands of resumes a week, and some are a little boring, or some the format is messed up, or some is You know what I mean? Like it'll look strange if anything is out of place. But if the eye is so used to seeing the same thing, like redundant over and over, you can do things to like help yourself stand out and showcase that you have very good, not only Microsoft Word and just organization skills and formatting skills, but that you can like present things very well, if that makes sense. Like you're a great presenter of skill sets and you're very efficient at giving people just what they need to make decisions. And that's a work skill set. Because if you give them a book, oh, hey, this is my 10-page resume. It's like, okay, so you don't know how to get to the point. Like that's kind of what you're showing. Like you don't actually know how to get to the point. And what if you have to talk to our stakeholders or our clients or our customers and you don't know how to get to the point? All right. So speaking of getting to the point, it says excellent interpersonal and communication skills to maintain effective relationships with internal and external stakeholders. That's actually kind of fire. Maybe you could even add like a career summary section. So you could have like a profile statement and a career summary, and then you can talk about that more. You could also snatch that out, add what I said and take that out and put stakeholder leadership in the skills section. So instead of putting risk management like Beatrice has, because now we've repeated the word risk like 3 times, we could put like stakeholder leadership. And then you can also see these bullets are long. So you see how the bullets are not aligned together. So there's like, what is that? 5. There's like 5 on one side and then there's 4 on the other. We could do 5 and 5 or 4 and 4. I like to do 3, 3, 3, but just some type of pattern that we follow, because it could be kind of cute. Like I do a lot of stuff with numbers just because people are obsessed with numbers. And so you could do like 3 lines in your profile statement, 3 bullets in each column for the skill. So 3, 3, 3. And then we could add a project achievement section, because I see that that's not there, and have 3 lines for each project achievement and be 3 lines. So like 3, 3, 3. And then when we get to the experience, which would start on the second page, this one starts on the first page, we could go like 9, 6, 3. And it'd be designed really well so that everything's formatted honestly kind of perfectly. And then it's really pleasing for the eye. The eye is like, ooh, this looks really good. Like that's all the time. Every time I go on interviews and people are like, oh my gosh, I remember your resume. It looks really good. Oh, I did it myself. So it's like, oh, like they're interested and they remember you and they're wanting to talk to you because of the way you presented yourself through your resume. It's kind of your goal. So yes, I would fix the skills. I would never have a skill that it has so many words like that one, like third-party vendor risk management programs. It's like, okay, well, you could do program development instead of all of that, because we're assuming you're doing risk programs because you're applying for the risk manager position. You could also have, instead of like risk mitigation is a cool skill to put on there, but since you don't need to repeat the word risk so much, you could say like complex problem solving, or conflict prevention, or things like that. Something I do like the disaster recovery. That one's great. I would just honestly make it like, program development or program execution. And then maybe on the right side, ooh, thank you for the highlights. That's great. So people can point it out. On the side that only has 4, maybe I would add another skill and I would put like, I don't even know, executive strategy or like business compliance or something. You could look at the job vacancy announcement, and that's another good tip. A lot of times people get stuck on their resume. Like, I don't know what to add. I don't know what skills to put. I don't know how to read job description. Go back to job description. If you're ever getting stuck or you're feeling like it's not clicking for you and you're like, oh, I have writer's block. No, you don't. You have reader's block. You're not reading enough. Go back to the job description and read it and find something that's not on your resume and go place it in there. There should never be a time where you're like, I'm stuck. No, you're not. Read the description. If you've been working on it too long, maybe go do something else and come back to it. You might just be bored, but honestly, read the description, find something you don't have, implement it, move on to the next section. Like if I was going to bang out a resume, just like sitting there all in one session, it doesn't take me that long. I do this all day long for a living. But when I used to not do it all day long for a living, I was just like a writer, I would do it in sections. I was like, okay, I'm going to do the skills for this hour, and then I'm gonna come back in a couple hours, and I'm gonna do my experience, and then I'm gonna do the project achievements. And I would split it up into 3. Like, go easy on yourself. Like, it's not that serious. And I guess it is, but you give yourself some breaks if you don't actually enjoy the art of resume building, because people get so up in arms about it. I would add a project achievement section. Like I said, there's definitely things that you can take from my LinkedIn profile and build it into your own. Like I have examples everywhere that you can check out. So also don't feel like you have to become a writer overnight, just copy and paste. That's your best bet. Plagiarize me. And then I would push everything on the experience to the second page. Just because you want your first page to be, you're like, it's like your billboard, but you want your first page, they're going to spend the majority of their time on your first page and then maybe look at your second page for like two seconds. They're really only spending about 6 to 7 seconds anyway. So they might do 5 seconds on the first page and 2 on the second page. So you want your first page to really attract them and telling them how you make money, save time, and show your impact. That's your goal. You're showing impact every single second. You should be giving people more and more and more reasons to want to have you on their team. So for this one, it's not bad at all. I do actually like, never mind, I found a mistake. So I like the time being in the right-hand corner. That is where people are most used to seeing your time there, your length of work. That's where people are used to seeing it. But if you go down to the vendor relations and receiving associate target one, that one is not aligned. You see how it's like kind of inward and the rest are right at the edge? We want all of that to be aligned. Like if we stuck a ruler over there, I put my pencil up to it on the screen. But like if you stuck a ruler over there, it would be out of alignment to the other ones. So I'd push that all the way over. And then also you can see, like, this is like my favorite thing in the world to do, just judging all day. Do you see how like Target, it says Target dash Houston. So this other one, it has spaces after the dash and before the dash right directly under it. So that I would immediately be like, this person doesn't have attention to detail. So I would and this is what I like to do on my TikTok too. If somebody says in their skill set that they have attention to detail or they're detail oriented and I find any mistake on their resume, I'm like, wow, a liar. So you have to like fool the person into believing like, not only are you absolutely the person that you're telling them that you are on their resume, you have to prove it now. So don't say anything about detail orientation and then there's a mistake. So you want to check Grammarly, you want to check your formatting, you want to get an extra set of eyes on it and things like that so that you don't, so nobody will be able to be like, they spelled manager wrong, must be incompetent. It's like, no, it's a mistake and everybody makes mistakes, but don't make any mistakes like that. So you want to make sure you check things and check your formatting and check the way that you set up everything so that there's no issues. Even like right after the word associate in vendor relations and receiving associate, there's no space, but on the sales team lead, there is a space before the motherhood maternity. So it's like, what happened between the vendor relations to the sales team to where one got spaces and one didn't? Like there's a disconnect there. Also like to figure out how I would see this person working at the firm or at the company based on their resume. And that's what people actually do. They're doing it very quickly, but they are judging your work ethic based on your resume. That's why a lot of people with resumes that have barely anything on it and they don't really describe anything, they're like, this gave me nothing. Like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if I work with them. They can't even get a feel of who you are because your resume doesn't articulate anything about you, which is not amazing. In the education and training, it says degree, Bachelor of Arts. I would say in what? I guess unless it's art, I would just say more, I guess. I would just have it regular, like Bachelor of Arts in Business Management or Bachelor of Arts in International Business and Human Resources, whatever, Bachelor of Arts in blank. And then the whatever the degree is, you know what I mean? Instead of like degree. And then I would never even put the in progress. I would put just, cybersecurity. I would put like cybersecurity, whatever certification in cybersecurity or associate in cybersecurity, whatever it is, and then drop it down, Houston Community College, and then Houston, I wouldn't even put that it's in progress. If they ask me about it, I guess I would tell them, but it's none of their business unless they ask. And most people are not sitting up there asking about your education. There's plenty of people with education that do not have positions that they want or they can't find a job. I would focus on my impact. Yeah, other than that, this one, not that bad. Honestly, I ripped it up, but it's really not that terrible. It's just for the show. I would add a project achievement section, definitely though, and then I would just curate it to match the specific skill set that the job vacancy is asking in the next ideal candidate for this risk manager position that I'm assuming they are applying to, because that is what their summary said. But you see what I mean? I had to assume it. I'm assuming you're going after risk manager positions because that's in your summary, but it's not in the title. So title, I would fix the formatting issues. I would add an achievement section. Yay! I don't know where we're at on time, but
Okay,
look at
yeah,
another one.
we're on time. We're on
Okay,
time.
great.
We have like a lot of resumes coming in, but I'm not sure we're able to go everything because, like we all see, Andrew is very detailed. She's always very detailed in everything she does. So I would stop sharing my screen and share the next one we have. Let me find that.
Okay, we could do speed round.
Okay, give a speed round. That's the
Yeah, I'll just be like boom, boom, boom. Because it's honestly the same. It's the same advice for like most resumes. Is like if you see that one person's formatting is not aligned and yours isn't, it's like that would be the same thing for you and things like that. But I really like the resume building a lot because if you take the time, and I know somebody was saying this yesterday on a live on TikTok. I know everybody wants to like use Chat GBT to do their stuff or whatever it's called. And you absolutely can, but it's not about to help you do things in the interview. So like if you built your resume with the tips that you can just immediately implement and take, you'll be able to see how you want to talk in your interview and how you want to show up in your interview too. But you can have anybody write your resume, but then you still have to do the work to implement what's on your resume into your delivery of your own skill set in the interview. And it actually helps to do your resume in a way that's very aligned to the description, just because now you're kind of like giving them a menu of yourself. Ooh, look at Stephanie. Okay. So this one, Stephanie says, social media manager, executive assistant. I like that the title is there. Here's something that I would do. I would make the title a lot bigger. I love the name is big. I'd make the title a lot bigger. I know this is like a very popular template. It's an awful template though, because it's extremely hard to move things around in it. I used to use this template a lot when I was doing tech resume coaching. And this was like the blanket template that they gave people to work with. And it's so hard to format in. It's honestly one of the hardest things ever. I just completely just get rid of it and go from scratch on Microsoft Word. I feel like this is a Google Doc resume. However, just wanted to get that out there. I would pick a title, I guess. So either social media manager or executive assistant. And for people who have multiple roles that they do, like myself, you can have multiple resumes. So you can have your social media manager resume, and then you can have your executive assistant manager resume. That doesn't mean that the day you become this executive assistant, that you're not going to do social media things. Like I used to do social media marketing and graphic designs and flyer designs, and every job I've ever had, and I've never had a title of social media manager, but they had me do it anyway. So that's why like your skill set is going to be transferable. But I personally would pick one, and I would have my executive assistant resume and then my social media manager resume, and I'm not going to try to combine them because you want to be very specific and detailed and you want to be targeted. So that the profile statement says solutions-driven executive assistant with over 4 years of demonstrated success in assisting C-level executives, cross-functional teams with scheduling, travel planning, data analysis, and social media management in order to maximize productivity and increase fund allocation. I actually really like that. I would probably shorten it a little bit. It's a lot of skills. So this is definitely an executive assistant resume. So I would have executive assistant, I'd be bigger in the header. And so you could say like solutions driven executive assistant with over 4 years of demonstrated success in, and then you could do like C-level executive support, cross-functional event planning, and time management with a direct focus on travel and scheduling for department leaders or something, you know. And then you don't actually have to talk about the social media management aspect, because if they ask you to just update their social media, clearly you're going to do that because you're doing executive support. So whatever they need, you're doing. You don't have to put English on your resume for your languages if you're speaking English in the resume, because we get it. The skills, I like the skills. Honestly, the last one, I wouldn't have so many like communication, organization, and time management. I would just, you could do like executive communication, you could do organizational planning and then time management and have 3, I like the product tools a lot. I love that. I'd probably move the contact information up a little bit so it's not in the same line across, like left to right with the name. Probably push that up a little bit. I would add the LinkedIn URL. And then the experience is immediately starting, which I never do. I will always have a project achievement section. Like she has the awards all the way in the second page, kind of at the top in that thing. I'm telling you, this is a very difficult template, but I would redo the template and then I would put that awards and I would rename it. These are called resume assertion sections. So I would read instead of awards, because like what kind of awards, I would rename it either project awards or project achievements or impactful executive assistant achievements or something like that to give the reader an understanding of like, what is this award? And then I would have that on the first page because you want to really get yourself to be spotlighted and highlighted and honestly better looking than your competition, because that's the thing I think people don't like to think about. You're competing for a job. This is like Survivor. I've never seen that show. Let me use another example. This is like like I've never seen The Bachelor either, but it's like that. Like you're competing for the person. You're competing for the check. You're competing for the money. There's other people who are going after the thing you want to. You want to look better than them. So you're trying to get your resume to look better than everybody else's. It's a competition. So a lot of people have a resume that looks like that. A lot of people have a resume that's just like, hey, this is my name. This is the work that I've done. This is where I went to school. You got to do a little bit more. So yes, I would put the awards above the experience always. And then again, I would reflesh out that experience section to like all the bullets touch each other. Another thing that we didn't talk about in the last one, every single bullet point should start with a verb in the third person with an S on the end for third person present tense, if it's a job you are currently doing, or a job, well, English is a mess, but ED or T or whatever the grammar is, but a verb in the past tense for a job that you've already completed. So for here, Stephanie has provide. So I do provides, creates, edits, publishes, performs, organizes, processes, welcomes, answers. And then the last one says website and social media management. So I'd be like, implements copy into the website and social media channels to increase viewership and audience participation by 15%. That's a solid bullet point. You know what I mean? And then when you go to the ones that are in the past tense, it's like managed, performed, you go all the way down and make sure that you're showing action. Like, this is what I did. This is what it affected. And this was the outcome in your bullets. And you want them to be strategic and aligned to the bullets on the responsibilities on the job description. Literally, somebody told me one time on Instagram, oh, the way you explain it is you're just saying it's an algorithm. Yeah, getting hired is an algorithm. It's not, I didn't go to an Ivy League school and I don't have a degree, so I don't think I'll get hired. No, there's plenty of people in Ivy League that don't have jobs they want and can't get hired and all that jazz. It's an algorithm. You have to get inside of there and really curate this key to open the door of HR. Yeah, other than that, not terrible, but the formatting, literally, it's extremely hard to redo things here. I would get an entirely new template. Stephanie, if you're on the live, hit me up. I'll send you one.
Okay, I'm gonna open another one, which I think we have 30 minutes more for the session before we go into the questions and answer question and session. So I'm just going to open up a third one, which I think is an interesting choice that we should talk about.
Looks so greasy. Okay. Okay. Cool name. First things first, this is so hard to read because there's so much content. This is why you want 2-page resumes. I was arguing with somebody yesterday for a little bit because, everybody's going to tell you, you should have one page resume. You should have one page resume. Oh my gosh, one page, one page, one page. When you have a lot of experience or you've done a lot, or you just, maybe you've just been awarded for so many things, or you have long amount of years, even if you have no years of experience, honestly, you should have a 2-page resume because they just do better. And stylistically, they read better because you're not cramming everything for the eye to have to like go through and be like, oh gosh, I can't even really read this. Like, what's going on? I do like the name at the top. I like the header. I like that the LinkedIn link is there. The location isn't, but like, it's not super necessary, but cool trick I like to do because I apply to remote positions. I don't even always do this because now I live in Long Beach, so like that's fancy or whatever. But like, let's say you live in like somewhere in Idaho and you're trying to get a remote position and the headquarters is in Seattle, I would just put my location and put Seattle. You can even get a cool little app that changes your area code to have a Seattle area code. If you wanted to do all that extra, you absolutely don't have to. It's just, I find it to be like, people are like, ooh, they're in the area. I don't need to know you're in the area or not, but you definitely don't have to have your location because you have to add it in the application anyway. But senior recruitment marketing manager and digital marketing strategist for global employer branding. That's a mouthful. I would just put the title of the position, unless that's the title of the full position that you're applying to. But that's a lot and it's small. You want your name to be the biggest thing on the page because you're the most important thing on your resume. And then you want the next biggest and boldest title to be the title of the position. So let's say it's senior recruiter. That's fine. Cornelia, senior recruiter. Boom, immediately. Oh, great. That's what we're looking for. And then this is what I bring to the table. I don't know if I like that title. I'm sure it's fine. I'm just picky. But passionate. Wow. Passionate, think outside. Well, okay, okay. Passionate, think outside the box strategist who uses the past to determine the future. This is a lot. This is so dramatic. Builds impactful candidate and employee experiences by telling brand stories. I like that. Okay. Drives proven digital growth and value that enhances brand recognition and results by prioritizing demand generation and retention. You know what? Never mind what I said. I like that because of her job. Her job, she's branding. That's kind of cute for the role. If this was like a accountant role, I'd be like, it's too much, but I get it. Okay. When and where I've made an impact. Yeah, cute. I like that. What I'm good at. I would change that to like areas of expertise or something. Maybe like not what I'm good at, what I'm the best at, what I do better than other. Like I would want it to be like maybe like a little more. And then who I use for success. Maybe Okay. Who I use for success, what I use for success. Da-dee-dee-dee-da. I'm gonna let her slide. I'm gonna let her slide because of the job. She's a brander. She brands. She's in marketing. I actually just did a email marketing resume for a client, and they were really cute. And like my regular template is just like that she asked for is this very conservative HR template that is just like a black box. A lot of super like ritzy conservative people really like because they don't want color on their resume at all. But she asked to have her border be hot pink, and I thought that was cool because she is in marketing, she's in branding, she's in email marketing, SMS marketing, and things like that. So when you're in a role that is more creative, for the creatives out there, if you want to be a content creator, you want to be influencer marketing manager, you want to do social media management, you can do something a little bit fun. Her words are a little fun. She could do like a splash of color. She could do like purple. She could even have like maybe like a little graphic on this because she has these little bullets and she has little graphics, just like skill, and it has like, these little things. She could have some of the apps, she could have like the little TikTok. She could have the TikTok logo, or she could have the LinkedIn logo or things like that in that. And it wouldn't be that strange for her specific resume. And she can email that to people and not have to worry about the ATS not picking things up or anything like that. She could send it directly to the recruiters in mail on LinkedIn as well. I would just say all in all, this resume is fine. It needs to be 2 pages so that you can talk a little bit more in depth without having to cram so much information. And then you could have like, 3 of your impacts analytics and kind of talk about that and have some of those metrics there and give people some eye room. Is that, you know what I mean? Just some room for the eye to breathe. That sounds wild, but it makes sense to me. Like, you don't want to overwhelm somebody with just black words on a white page. You know, it makes you want to blur. It just, your eyes just blur. They just do, especially when you're looking at resumes all day for a living. Eyes will just blur. How I know my stuff. She's kind of interesting. I like her. Okay. I don't like this. Why my parents are proud. I don't like that one, but I like, why are you proud? We don't know about what your parents are doing. But again, I judge people through their resume, and other people do this too, but I do it more specifically. You actually get a feel of people and who they are through how they set up their resume, honestly, especially if like they did their own or whatever, or even if they pay somebody to do it. People pay me to do their resumes all the time. But that's somebody who invests in their future, or somebody who invested in getting help on a skill that they're not the best at. That like showcases like, oh, they can ask for help. They invested in themselves. They're trying to go up. They're trying to enhance their professionalism. Like, to me, I'm like, oh, this person cared, as opposed to somebody who, not that you have to pay for somebody to do your resume, but as opposed to somebody who doesn't do that and just does a skill set that they're not great at and hopes for the best. It's like, you know, you can see a different personality in the people based on their resume. Why my parents are proud. Interesting. I would change that title immediately, but how I know my stuff, I don't hate this at all. It is different, but I don't hate it. I would make it 2 pages though, and then you can do even more and showcase even more. You can showcase some projects, or, you know, have links to maybe like a portfolio or something that you worked on or anything like that. But yeah, just the length. Honestly, everything else, not terrible. I like her.
Thank you very much. I actually like it. It's quite unique out of all
It
the
is.
received all my life.
It is unique. I like the authenticity.
Oh, this is interesting. I think something I should spotlight. So I'm very much sure that Kunila probably speaks 1 or 2 things, actually a lot of things from what you've said. And why am I parent proud? If my mom sees that in my resume, she will be flying all over like, oh, this guy's actually
That's
it's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
like her.
So I think we can go one more for
Okay.
those who there's a lot of resumes, but I'm just trying to go through. Some really have a very good template, which is very general, and they can pick from what you've said so far from the 2 resumes we've looked at. Let's go
Right.
to let's see. Let's go to Anne. And I think that will be all for now
Okay.
until the next career restrategizing or wherever. Anyway, we have career strategizing, we have career restrategizing for 2024 right in the planning stage. So by next year, I want to see you. Okay, let's go to Han.
Okay, last one. And Marie, these templates have not been terrible. They have, honestly, like, I'm ripping them apart, but they have not been bad at all. Like, these are not that. These are. I like the name. I like, there's like a style. Definitely, you can show some personality in your header. So like, if you want to have a different format or a different color, that's a great place to do it. I like that the contact information is at the top. I would probably either change your LinkedIn URL to get yours, just to be like Anne Marie Hazard, and so it won't have the little extra at the end, or pull it all the way into one line and then make it real small, because like, we know it's your LinkedIn, so it'll all fit and be like look like a little letter at the top and just together. I like that is there. Kingston, Jamaica. Nice. I might even make the name a little bit bigger, to be honest, because you have like some room. I say that the profile statement is a little long, but let's see. Strategic, proficient, and detail-oriented account manager / project coordinator. That's a lot. Pick a title and put the title at the top. You can push the name up a little bit more and then add that title, whichever one that you think about yourself, and think about what, if you could have whatever you want in your life, right? Like, what would that job title be? And if it's project coordinator, go with project coordinator. If it's account manager, with account manager. If it's something different, make it something different. That's fine. But pick one. Like, don't do too much, because like you're probably going to do some account management as a project coordinator, and you're probably going to do some project coordinating as an account manager. So I can see that it's very interchangeable. But like, just for your resume's sake, you can have your account manager one and your project coordinator one. You know, some people try to put like 5 in the same one. I'm like, that's why you're not getting called out. So passionate about growth, learning, delivering excellent quality, and striving to make positive impact. You're talking a lot. Intrinsically motivated with the ability to work independently or in a team to successfully manage numerous stakeholder accounts and projects. When I think of projects, it's a lot. You don't have to talk about when you think of project. You can take that whole thing out. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. Everything after when I think, out. And then you could clean it up with like, I like strategic. So you could be like strategic and organized project coordinator with X plus years of experience. Let's say you have 4. So with 4+ years of experience in risk management, I'll take it from the other one, risk management, stakeholder leadership, and devising solutions to business growth initiatives. That's like 2 lines. You could add another line if you wanted to, but you don't ever really need to go over 4, because if it's like a huge chunk of a paragraph, it's no longer just like a little quick statement. It's kind of like, okay, we're reading now. You want it to be scannable. That's your goal. You want everything on your resume to be easily scannable by the human eye. And they're going to spend the majority of their time right at the top. Like if you can't hook them right at the top, you're losing money, honestly. So I don't remember what I said, but strategic and organized projects coordinator with 4+ years of experience in blank, blank, blank. Those blank, blank, blanks are from the job description. So you could say with 4+ years of experience in agile methodologies, team building, and executive leadership for stakeholder accounts and project initiatives that are in the business industry or whatever. It doesn't matter, but 3 lines is my goal. You could say whatever industry too. So if you're trying to go to tech, with a direct focus on executing complex projects in the tech industry for non-technical leaders and non-technical employees, or whatever you're doing, whatever the job description says. I like the skills section a lot. Instead of just saying communication, I would put like executive communication or cross-departmental communication or some type of communication, project coordination, something like project coordination looks really good in front of it. And now you just have the word communication. So you want to be very specific. You have Asana, Jira, Kanban. I don't know how to say that. Kanban, Kanban, whatever. Trello. Like you have 4 in one line. You might have a technical skills section, and then you could put all your technical skills all in one line across ahead of the skills or below the areas of expertise or your skills overview or whatever you're doing. But you just have Zoom on one line on its own. So I would probably take out everything from PowerPoint presentation and training down. I would take that out and put it all in one solid line of technical tools. And then you have freed up 4 bullet points to say other things. You could say like risk mitigation, employee training, organizational development, and change management. And then you have solid project skills that are aligned to the role. This organization and planning, though, that P isn't capitalized, I would capitalize that, because then all of your capitalization formats are going to be in unison there. Sometimes people will have like the word account and then a lowercase m for management. It's just like, why are we doing that? Yeah, you can say like organizational planning too. That one's kind of cool. I like that. But you, again, read the job description. It'll tell you what to put on. Again, I would add a project achievement section. There's no project achievements. If you need tips and tricks on project achievements, I do have a blog on resume psychology on thecareerisland.com on my website. You can get to the website on my LinkedIn, and you could just literally copy and paste it into your resume and then reword it to match your industry. It doesn't matter if you're in tech, if you're trying to get into HR or recruitment, or if you're trying to get into social media, finance, or fintech, or whatever. You just tailor everything to match the role you're going after. But I have created just a good, little ad lib for your resume. Experience is fine. You don't necessarily have to describe your business or what the last company you were at. It does take up some room. Some people do it and it's okay, but If you're going to do it 2 lines only, probably, then you are describing a lot of it. So it's like innovative data mining and analytics partners. And then you're like, major finance institution, new pension, it's kind of like, okay, it's like great, Chick-fil-A, chicken joint. Like, you don't have to do that. And then also for here, you can see like 2022 to 2023, it's kind of, I don't know if you can understand. Yeah, it's kind of like inwards a little, where that should be the ending. And we can see like the 4 is kind of on the outside. You want the time you were there to be the most aligned to the right of your page, and all the other words kind of like in front of it. So you're kind of creating this format. And then you can see in the Jamaica Customs Agency, that time frame is way inwards. And it's like, whoa, what happened to your formatting? If anything, they should all line up together, but that one's so in, as if you like forgot to press tab and get it to the end. So I would fix that. But yeah, most things that are pretty common, or people, I think it's an internal thing. People feel like they haven't achieved anything. They think they go to work all day and they're not achieving a thing, or they think they go to work and like they haven't ever, because nobody said like, oh my gosh, you achieved this thing today. Thank you so much. You increased our bottom line by 15% this quarter just for showing up on time. Like, no one's going to tell you that. You have to write that into your own resume, but it's a literal fact. Like, you're increasing metrics all day long. If you talk to a customer and the customer was like, oh, thanks for telling me where the paint is at the Lowe's, that increased customer satisfaction. Now they're like satisfied. They're like, oh yeah, I found the paint. Because if they left Lowe's and they didn't know where the paint was, they were like, gosh, Lowe's doesn't know what they're doing. by you knowing where the paint is, it actually helps the customer with their satisfaction. And they might come back and be like, hey, I know where the paint is at Lowe's. I'm just going to go to Lowe's for my paint. Now you increase their retention by 20% or 30 or 40 or whatever you put on your resume. Make an achievement section. Most people just don't have one at all. Or they'll put like awards and they're like, oh, I was the chess club captain. We don't care about the chess club. Yeah. This one's okay too. After I told you all these mistakes, this was okay too. I like the name though. Oh, they have personal development and learning. That's cool. Oh, they have an achievement section. I'll put that at the top. See, that's the thing. Before we even get, don't ever put your achievements at the bottom, because it looks like that's what you think is like the least important thing. So like, I would have missed the achievements because I would already be like, she ain't got no more achievements. She's out. Go to somebody else. But the achievements are at the bottom. Same thing with the skills. So many people put their skills at the bottom. We're buying your skills. You're only here getting money because we want your skill, because your skill adds value to our company. So the thing that you are selling needs to be at the top. It's like, I don't know. I don't drink, but I'm sure y'all do. So like, it's like if you went to a bar and none of the alcohol was in the front. It's like, girl, we are here for one thing. It needs to be in my face so I can see it, so I can make a decision, so I can select it. If the thing I want isn't in my face, I'm like, why am I here? Let me go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Personal development's cool. I take that off though. They probably don't really care that you did personal development, to be honest. You could talk about that in the interview. That's another thing. Some people leave some stuff off your resume so you have some cool things to talk about in the interview, like wow them. You're kind of wooing them. You're trying to get them to want to date you for a long time. You don't have to put everything you've ever done in your life on your resume. It's not what it's for. You're just marketing yourself. It's just a little menu. Keep some stuff off the menu so you have a little secret menu in the interview to be like, actually, I also da, 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 da. That's what I do. It's fun.
Okay, I think that was a great one there, Andrew. We have 9 minutes more, so let me be merciful before we go into the panel session where you can ask more intimate questions. Not intimate, but one questions.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's take a look at Kathy.
Yeah, what oh, you want to do this one? Are we answering questions? Oh, this one. I mean, okay, we can do a little speed round. No title. I would add the title. I don't know what they would be applying for. I have no clue. Just right off the rip, I have like no clue what they do. Don't even have profiles.
Just a quick background. So Kathy wants to transition to recruitment.
Oh, okay. So I'd put recruiter. I'd put recruiter, a technical recruiter, or honestly, for everybody that wants to become a recruiter, everybody wants to be a technical recruiter, and that's fine. It's very, very competitive right now as all the recruiters get laid off first, by the way. So you might rethink your goals, but if you really want to get after it, maybe look at like creative recruiting or corporate recruiting or something like that. There's different types of recruiters, and everybody's like, I want to be a tech recruiter. Like, that's fine. But there are different things. So if Kathy is like wanting into recruitment, maybe she can look into HR recruitment or corporate recruiter or creative recruiter. I think creative recruiters are really cool. So you'd be looking for like UX designers, animators, graphic designers, social media managers, content creators, and things like that. So that would be cool. So let's say she was like, yeah, that sounds great. Andrew's advice is amazing. You would put creative recruiter, like Kathy Medley, creative recruiter. And that would be cool. And then you can list your skill sets in recruitment. Here's a cool thing for recruitment. Full life cycle recruiter, full life cycle recruitment. You could put that in your skills. You could put employee relationship management, another fire one for recruiter. Yes, customer relationship management, CRM software, fantastic. Another cool one. I mean, you could put HubSpot, you can put Salesforce, you can have your technical tools, you can add all the ATS software that you know. If you don't know any, look them up on YouTube, learn them, figure it out, then put it on your resume. And then, you could do like stakeholder leadership, HR training, things like that. Onboarding is a good one. So you could put like onboarding training or onboarding presentations and things like that. Like honestly, just looking like day in the life of a recruiter on YouTube or TikTok or something. And then what they say, put on your resume. It's a great skill. Again, project achievements, I would do that. I would talk about anything you've ever done that had anything to do with like any project that you worked with other people, because recruiters do a lot of talking. They do a lot of interviewing. They do a lot of researching. Data analytics would be a fire skill to put on there too. Global recruiting. Anything with like international relations, they do a lot of speaking and they do a lot of relationship building. I used to be a recruiter and I worked with a recruiting firm, and the lady who owned it called it professional matchmaking. So you're honestly doing a lot of relationshiping things. Like anybody who's a recruiter would be like a really great matchmaker, like $1 million matchmaker type of thing. Again, project achievements, the experience is kind of like, you see how it says like March 2022 to current, that needs to be all the way in the right, because it's like, it looks so empty on the right side. You know what I mean? It's like all the ones we've seen so far, everybody has had it on the right side, way in that corner. And this one has it immediately starts with it. And it's like, whoa, what are you doing? It's just not that, but it's like nobody's used, not nobody, but people are not used to seeing the time at the very beginning at the top, even before the name of the company or the previous title or the present title. So if you put it in the right, it's a little bit easier for the eye because it's used to seeing it there. So like, just don't try to reinvent the wheel or anything and all that jazz, or reinvent the wheel and do whatever, but it might just be more efficient if you just stay with the wheel. Support specialist. Okay. It's a little boring, honestly. I would maybe put like a border around it and kind of zhuzh it up a little. It definitely does look blank on the right side. So like that's throwing me off a little. Ooh, there's a poll. Should I answer it now? I'll answer it in a second. Okay. Education, cool. It says like associates, communication. I don't know. See, I'm controversial. So like I would put, this is what I would do. Don't do this. I would do this. I would put like Bachelor of Arts in Communication and put April 2023, because like you're kind of on your way to get a bachelor since you have the associates. You don't need a degree to get a job. Like so many people have a job and they don't have a degree. They have great jobs, have no degree, no formal education. But like when you put associates, it just, take it from me, people in HR, they're like, they're uneducated, like immediately. People are so biased. Not everybody, but people are so biased that we're like, like you don't have to like put, like some people will just put their high school diploma. I'm like, take that off. It's doing you a disservice more than if you just put your impact and your skill set. Like you'd be better off just being like, yo, I am pursuing a higher level degree. Because like you could get into a higher level degree program tonight and then you are pursuing it. So they don't know. Anyway, I would add a project achievement section yet again, or an impact section, a technical tools section to this. I would add every recruiter that you could possibly find on LinkedIn and follow their strategies on their LinkedIn profiles, see what tips and tricks and things that they post about and they talk about, and get really deep into the recruitment world so that you can kind of simulate the life of a recruiter. That's advice goes for everybody who's trying to do a career shift. Oh, wow. What are these certificates on the third page? I would reformat everything. You definitely don't want to have any kind of page on your resume where it only has 3 lines and then the rest is blank. It looks like you turn in incomplete work, because you do. You have now, you showed us that you do. I would just push that up and take some bullets out and like reformat it so that it looks a little more interesting to the eye. Maybe green, maybe a green line or something. Green bullet. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's great. Yeah. And we are just in another session. I know we just did career, but trust me, to everyone listening on every channels, every social media platform, Premium Life, I know it's non-negotiable right now that you have learned so many things, not 1 or 2 things. You now know that there is so much importance on title. There is so much importance on alignment. I talk about alignment so much. And now I can even see to myself that alignment is not just about you aligning to your career goals, even alignment in textual is very, very important. I want to say thank you very much, Andrew. You've been a great guest. We have a next session, which is the last session we have today, and I'm going to spotlight also Ola. And Roy, if you're here, please turn on your camera so I can spotlight you. And at this time, what we want to do is questions and answer. I know you have so many questions right now. Those in Twitter, those in LinkedIn, you probably have questions you want to ask. This is the session. This is when you actually have your questions, or I don't know, Zoom has a lot of things. Time where you actually have your questions. So let those questions keep coming in now. Everyone is saying thank you. Thank you, Andrell. Thank you, Andrell. And so thank you too. Thank you, Ola. Thank you, Roy, for being here. So now it's gonna be about job search. Questions. Is we've talked about how you can improve your personal branding. We've talked about how you can articulate your value, because Andrew, you mentioned something that you're selling yourself, right? If you don't know what to sell, then what do you put down? If you don't know your achievement, what do you put down? If you cannot recognize the value you bring to the table, that's why I like Cornelius Rosalie.
Yeah.
Very interesting. She tells the hiring manager that I know what I bring to the table. Like, what do I bring to the table? And she's like, I bring this, I bring this, I bring this. She recognized the value. That's just it. So now, as you, as an individual, as a contractor, as an employee, a self-employed business owner, right? If you do not know the value you bring to the table, how do you sell yourself? How do you brand yourself? Which is why one of the things that all I talk about. So how do you brand yourself? So now I want to open up the session for questions. So this is going to be about job search questions. So we could talk about questions ranging from how can I apply for the right jobs? How can I recognize the skills? You can ask questions on, I've been applying for interviews, I've not been called. We've talked about the resume. What other things can you do? The networking, time management skills. So many people, they thought, I've worked with a client that told me what I applied to thousands of jobs and only got 10 interview. And I was like, can you please just give me a percentage? Because if you're telling me you've applied to 100%, now you've only gotten 1% out of 100, then there's the work to do. So let's open up the questions to our audience all the time. You can ask questions. Tell us, what questions do you have burning on LinkedIn? I'm going to also try to trash Facebook and YouTube and every other thing, in case there are questions coming in from there. So if you have questions, now is the time to ask these questions. While waiting for them to ask these questions, I'm going to ask the panel is, what is that unique job search tips that has landed you multiple of interviews?
Can I go first?
Okay, well,
Two things. So the tip that I have used that have got me the most amount of callbacks I've ever got in my entire life is applying late on Sunday night. Like, honestly, especially for people who don't have a job right now, stay up all Sunday night, literally. Stay up literally all. I did that one time. I only did it one time. I don't remember the months or whatever, but it was 2020 before I started my business and TikTok and everything. I just trying to get a job, late. Like, I was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just up applying to positions. And then I went to bed, knocked out, I went to bed, and I woke up and my email was full, just full of interviews, full of job offers, full of people reaching out to me saying that they were really impressed with my resume and my cover letter, and they wanted to get on the Zoom and what was my Calendly? I didn't know what Calendly was. And I was like, oh, I just figured something out. And that's why I'm so hard on the Sunday night applying. But I've also found that Wednesday afternoons before lunchtime, like before 12 p.m., wherever you're at, works kind of well too, because people are kind of trying to wrap things up for the end of the week. So sometimes maybe they don't get to all that stuff in the beginning because they're busy with projects and stuff, especially with HR, because they have a lot of things to do. Wednesday before noon, and then Friday or Thursday night or Friday before the end of the workday also works really well for me to get some feedback from my application. So those are my hot spots that I like. I have another one, but I'll let somebody else talk.
What about you, Ola?
Okay, yeah. So for me, what actually works for me was building rapport over time, because I'm someone who loves to approaching people, even if. So I always look for conversation starters, what to use to instigate conversation, and engage the hiring manager when I have my resume been sent. So I added a little bit of creativity to my applications, and yeah. So you have to be open. For me, it was my openness. I was able to approach the hiring managers directly, and have something to engage them on practically. So I think that's what has generated results for me over time. And yeah, so it's what I use even for my clients.
What about you, Roy?
Hello, everyone. For me, it's really, I normally look at the job description from the back. So as in what I do, I normally look at it as the end goal is a KPI. So what I normally do is I really segment that JD into 3 sections. There's the key skills. There is the skills that are required for you to get to as a person, the skills that are required of you as a person. Then there's the experience that is required of you. Looking at the JD, there's normally the background that is your the university degrees and such kind of things. And if you do not have your education background, and then looking again at the key responsibilities. These key responsibilities will then end up becoming your KPIs. That they will lead to some KPIs. So what I normally do is I look at key areas in that job description and make sure that my CV is well aligned with those skills, key responsibilities, and also the education background. So once I do that, I make sure that all those key areas are well aligned, such that when the recruiter is looking at my CV, they will find that most of those things are aligned. And with that, I normally get quite a number of calls from recruiters.
Okay, I think what I do is personally is I wouldn't apply until I speak with managers. So I saw a job I really liked. I wouldn't send in my resume. I would find I use those navigator a lot. Like let me have ROI, as return on investment on the sales navigator I pay for. I think I just stopped my subscription recently. So what I'll do is I would just go, I say a job I really like, then I would find the hiring manager. And LinkedIn has a new feature now that you can find them easily. Just go to their to their LinkedIn page, and you can see connect with us. So that way you can connect with the recruiters if they're using LinkedIn recruiter especially, and you can know who is the recruiter for that job. So what I would do is I wait. I said the job description. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to be very transparent with you because sometimes I go back and I was like, oh, it was just fine. But it has really worked with me. It has really worked for me in the past. Being able to connect with that hiring manager before I even submit my application. So I want to connect with them on a general note. And then I chip it in during our conversation. Like, oh, I did see this. I see that you're looking for this thing, and that's because I also have a company and I'm trying to run. So I still have that business owner mindset. Oh, I saw this, you're looking at this, or you're having difficulty in this. Oh, I actually have the skill set. I have the skill set. I talk about the project that I've done during our conversation, even before I mentioned I saw you are employing for this role. And this person will be like, oh, we're looking for that skill set. We're looking for that skill. I'm like, okay, do you mind sharing the job description that I've already seen? But that way I'm able to establish, it could look a little bit corny, but this is all are fair when you're looking for job. You can all are fair when you're looking for job. So that way I have introduced myself, I have sold my value, I had made them interested in me, and now they want to get to know me better. I want to introduce you to my team. Let's talk to us. What can you do this for us? And that has really helped me in the past. Still helping me, and it's still one of those skills that I sell to my clients when I tell them, you have to know yourself, you have to know your value, you have to know how to sell yourself when you're speaking with hiring managers before, during, and even after your interviews. During and after interviews. We're still waiting for questions. We want to make sure that everyone, if you have questions, please do send the questions. I know people are just saying talking more about the thank you, and I launched a pool. Please answer the pool. We have one more pools to go, and we have questions. We have, I think, how many minutes more? Like 9 minutes more. Okay, right. Well, there's no question. I have one more question to ask the panel, and that is about ChatGPT. Andrew, you mentioned it, and a lot of people are beginning to talk about ChatGPT. How can you or we now as job seekers utilize ChatGPT in searching for jobs, or even in preparing for interviews? How can we? Andrew, you want to go first?
I can go first. I have not used it personally. I have not used it. I have had a lot of people on TikTok talk about it and tell me about it and say that, but we did come up with something. Yes, this is just this is just my opinion. Something that I talked about yesterday on TikTok Live was this. I would be interested in seeing the stats on some people or some group that used ChatGPT to write their resume and or their LinkedIn profile and seeing how many of those converted into callbacks and the job. I have not seen or heard a lot on that. I have heard a lot of people be like, oh my gosh, you can get ChatGPT to write your resume. You can get it to help you with your interview. You can get it to do all this stuff, but like, is it helping you get the job or land a lot of callbacks? I'm not sure about that yet. So like one day when I don't have anything to do and I get real bored, don't know when that'll happen, but I stay busy. But like, it would be interesting to see if I could, or somebody else do this. I don't want to do this actually. Somebody do this and figure out if you can get way more callbacks than you were getting previously by just having the AI write your resumes. If that ends up being like every single job I'm applied to with the AI, I'm getting all these callbacks for high level positions, 6-figure positions, that in industries that I've never been in before, then I'd be like, balls to the wall, everybody go ahead and do it. But now I just do it on my own because I like writing. But if you're somebody who struggles with writing, I can see that there could be a benefit to it to get you out of this mode of getting so frustrated and so anxious and overwhelmed by the process of actually job hunting. So somebody else take it away who's used it before.
That's interesting. What about you, Roy? Have you used ChatGPT for resumes?
I haven't used it for my personal resume, but I have tried to use it to really generate job specifications and such kind of things. I must say technology is very good. It really it makes it easy to draft so many things. And looking at resumes, people now are using it to generate resumes, which is not a bad thing. But what I really want to insist on is that you really need to be very keen on what you are putting on your resume, because you might just get a JD from the internet, place it in the ChatGPT, and it will generate everything that you want. But now coming back to your experience and what you have really done, you will get into that interview that you got and will not be able to articulate matters as is supposed to be. So it will be like you have lied on, or you have canvassed in your in your CV. So though you're using technology, it would be good to really put things that you have actually done, because it would be very unfortunate that you get into an interview, you did not even look at what the ChatGPT generated for you, and then you finally come and say that they ask you one question and you're not even able to answer it, or you're not able to articulate that matter the way it's supposed to be. And that itself is now will make you lose the job, even though probably you would have gotten it if you didn't have that in your resume.
What about you, Ola?
Yeah, so I've tried ChatGPT before just to get a feel of what people have been when you go on YouTube, you just see it everywhere, and man, use ChatGPT to do your resume in seconds, So I actually went through it, and the queries, like the results it generated, looked okay. But the concern I have is AI is to assist you. It's not to do the job for you. So if AI is to get the job done, like write your resume, so are you committing your career experience, like your career, into the hands of an AI that doesn't even know what you've done in the past? So, and that's just one. Secondly, is when you are using AI to write your resume, imagine other people, other lazy, let me use the word lazy, like imagine thousands of other people that are using the same AI to write the same resume you want to submit for a job opening, do you get it? And when the recruiter is going through the resume and they are seeing similarities, man, so are you telling me that you guys have the same experience, you have the same accomplishment? So ChatGPT makes you look. Don't be a lazy job seeker. Don't be a lazy career professional. If you can't get a job done, look for a human being, like a professional resume writer, a career coach, to help you get the job done. So ChatGPT is good, but you shouldn't depend on it like to get the job done. Content writers don't do it. Like I had Google bounces off some content generated with ChatGPT recently. So why should you, a career professional, do it? And mind you, very soon we're going to have another software that will come up for recruiters that they can track resumes written with ChatGPT. So you don't want to fall into that trap because people are actually evolving, and so you don't play the company with ChatGPT and don't play with your career.
Just to add to what everyone has said is, I'm going to tell you that using ChatGPT is a good support system, because one, you can copy out the resume, you can copy out the job description and post it in ChatGPT to bring out some skill set that you might overlook while reviewing the resumes yourself. But allowing ChatGPT to write the resume for you, there's something that it does. It tells you I'm an AI language and I cannot write your resume for you. I don't know your resume. I don't know your experience. I don't know this. And it will probably ask you to post the resume. It could help you with restructuring some languages. It could help you with identifying bullet points that you need to identify or to include, not word for word, but having an idea of what the hiring manager had said in the job description, which sometimes is not all inclusive. Just some things that they're looking for in the job description. Then that way it can allow you to think in now shorter sentences of, do I have the skill set? Sometimes it tells you, why don't you you probably do not have enough skill set to do this. Sometimes you can score your resume. So, but it is not all inclusive. It's not an all inclusive package that can do it all for you. So even if you're using ChatGPT to get a feel of what the area manager will probably pick out from the resume, the skill set that we find based on the job description, you can use it, but you cannot take away the human eyes, because the human understanding is different from the machine understanding. What the area manager is looking for is different from what the ChatGPT or AI, whatever AI tool would tell you. It will only tell you what is textual. There's so many inferences. There's so many pragmatic inferences behind each text.
Right.
You might not be aware of. I've been trying. I see no one have questions now. That's fine. I believe that this is a session that is well explanatory, and I want to say thank you to you all. You, Andre, thank you. I hope to have you again. Hola, thank you very much. Thanks for the first session. Articulating your value. If you are okay, I think let's do this. Let's connect. Everyone on the chats, on the group. I already posted Andrew's LinkedIn. Let's all post LinkedIn profiles. Let's connect with each other. For those on LinkedIn, connect with each other. For those in Zoom, let's post LinkedIn pages, and please do not forget to follow us, follow Buvad, follow me, Florence. Let me post that when I find that. My assistant is on LinkedIn, so I'm not sure. I don't think she's there. So let me find her myself and post it. Yeah, let's share, let's connect with each other wherever you are. Please follow Buvad. We have sessions like this. We have webinars and conferences. We have another conference, Andrea. We'll have another conference coming in September. It's the Intelligence Symposium. And we want to talk about AI. We want to talk about how AI is going to shape the future of recruitment. I'm not sure how that, but I'm really looking forward to that. Ola and Roy is part of Bavad, the Power of Bavad Coaches. You can always work with us one-on-one. You can always follow Andrea. Andrea has so much free information. Now we have paid information. So and you can always work with Andrew one-on-one. Andrew, I was going to talk to you if I could get like a code from you that for discount in case people want to work with you and they want discount. I don't know if that's possible. If it's something you can also share with them.
Sure, I'll make something.
Okay. And you can also work with us. You can work with us if you are in Africa, if you're in the United States. We have coaches in Africa, we have coaches in UK and coaches also here in the United States for one-on-one sessions on how you can articulate your value, how you can sell yourself even beyond jobs, beyond resumes, how you can sell yourself, how you can align to your goals, how you can advance and accelerate your careers. That's one of the things that we also do. And you can also work with Andrew if you want to you want a second eye on the resume. You can work with Andrew. You can also work with Ola. That's one of the things that Ola also does. So you can work with both of them. It's your choice. This is a free session. It's a free webinar. So, but we just wanted to also let you know that we also give this value to people on a one-on-one basis. We work with you very closely. This is a great session. I'm going to launch the last poll we have. Please do answer the last poll. It's just about how we did for this session. So that's where we can know what we need to improve. So please, the last session is just 3 questions of what do you enjoy most in today's session. And you can also post that on LinkedIn. For those who are on LinkedIn, tell us what you enjoy most about today's session. Tell us about what you would like to change. If you would want to change anything into this session, that would really help us to know what we're doing and what we can do better. And also, if you would like to invest, Andrew mentioned something, investing in your career. It's paramount. It's not something anyone should tell you. It's not something we should encourage or enforce it. It's something that you should know that I have to invest in my career. It is. You want to say something?
No, I was just agreeing. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. So it's something that we all should invest in your career. Let's connect with each other. Please, let's connect with Bavad. Do not forget to follow Bavad Consulting and Management on LinkedIn. On YouTube, we have YouTube too. Please do not forget to follow Bavad. Also, I keep forgetting about myself. Do not forget to follow me and Florence Idowu. Do not forget to follow me and Ola and Roy. I'm also trying to put together. Have you shared do share your LinkedIn? I'm trying to do that for you all too, but please let's follow.
Yep.
Coaches, I shared Andrew's information earlier. So please do not forget to follow Andrew. She has so much value she gives every single day. How do you stay committed to social media? How do
Plenty
you
of time.
that? I think that's one session that we should have to. That's something that should probably create. You're everywhere. So how do you stay? How do you stay connected? I want to say thank you to you all. Let's connect with each other. Let's share our LinkedIn profile. So now, before we end today's session, I just want to ask the audience, how would you describe this session in one word? How would you describe this session in one word? If you are on LinkedIn, how would you describe this session? If you want going to use one word, how would you describe this session? I see some words coming in. Informative. That's interesting. I'm waiting for more. Informative. Detail. Interesting. Detail. Let's wait for more people on LinkedIn, on Zoom. Let's see. How would you describe this session? Inspiring. Inspiring. That's great. So, at the absence of no question, Ola, you want to say something? Valuable. Oh my gosh. Exquisite. I feel like I've been given thousands of dollars right now. Ola, what do you want to say before we end the session?
Yep, I don't have much to say. I just want to let us know we should consistently have the vibes, keep your energy alive. I know it might be hard out there, even when you think you've done everything right. For job seekers, you should, keep the vibes on. You should have be around be in an environment of inspiration, keep motivating yourself. So that's why it's good to have a coach to always tell you, cheer you up and tell you, man, you got this, keep applying, use this strategy, use this approach, just keep it up. The job market is getting tight and tight. You might think you have the job and, the following month you've been laid off. But there's an opportunity for you out there. There's something for you out there. You have a place in your dream company. So keep it alive, man. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed today's session. And I want to say thank you all to everyone who joined on LinkedIn, to those who joined on Facebook. I really couldn't track that. But to those who joined on Twitter, and of course, to those who joined on LinkedIn and on Zoom. Thank you. Thank you very much. Follow Bavad Consulting and Management. There are sessions we have monthly, there are sessions we have quarterly, and the sessions we have yearly. The next conference is probably going to be by September, and that is the Talent Intelligence Symposium. Come network with people, you're going to meet recruiters, talent acquisition consultant, professionals, specialists. We have a lot of titles, and not that you meet some other people from the tech, because it's going to be all technology. It's going to be AI, it's going to be talent acquisition, talent management, and of course the HR. Yes, there will be replay. It will be, this is posted on, it's currently live streamed on LinkedIn and is live streamed on our YouTube channel. You can follow our YouTube channel. It's Bavad Talent Solutions. We give talent solutions. So it's Bavad Talent Solutions. So you can follow that on YouTube. So you have the replay on YouTube. If you also follow us on LinkedIn, we can also send the replay to you on demand base now, on demand base. Yeah. Because this is a lot of value that's just given out for free. And I want to thank Andrew especially. Thank you. I appreciate it. And on this note, thank you to the audience also for tuning in to learn more professional development. So thank you all. And on this note, we end to this session.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.